Hello everybody, welcome to lesson 9. The first thing I would like to do is to apologize for what we did in our previous lesson because Nastya did not understand what I told her to do exactly, and instead of making changes in inbound rules, she did it in outbound rules, and after that she was not able to update everything or to continue working with the virtual machine that she created on AWS. I watched that video and I simply overlooked what she did, and it just shows how hard this is. And therefore today I will do everything myself, because today in this lesson I will show all the stages that are necessary in order to create a virtual machine, to create a website. And today we will create our first really functional Django website. For now, it will be quite simple, very basic, with just 2 HTML pages. So let's start. Okay, first let me read the plan for today's lesson. We'll create a virtual machine on AWS launch instance. We'll install everything on that machine, SSH into it with Visual Studio Code, because it's a lot more convenient to work with Visual Studio Code than just using command prompt, right? And we will create a first functional Django website. So what to begin with? First, let's go to AWS. Why is it in Russian? It should be in English. So sign into console. So I'm in EC. I click EC2 to start working with our instances. For those who haven't watched the previous lessons, please watch them, because we have done a lot of important things there, and without that knowledge, it will be very hard for you to understand. But today, I will do this one more time from the very beginning, all the stages. Like I said, it will take Nastya maybe 3 lessons to do this. And in our lesson on Monday, tomorrow that is, we'll be working with Git and GitHub. I think it will be very, very helpful and useful for our viewers, because we'll be cooperating. She will add me as a collaborator to her repository, and you will see how we'll be cooperating with each other. It's very useful. So therefore, tomorrow Nastya will not be doing what I am doing today. We'll be working with Git. So what do we start with? After we create an account on AWS, we work with why do we need AWS? To create virtual machines. First, we need to import SSH, the public SSH key, my Windows, because I work on a Windows machine. We click here, key pairs, and then we click actions and import key pair. And you will have to, after you do this, you can give it any name, for example, Windows key, and you copy your public key, Windows, for example, I can show you how I will do this here. cd ssh and now dir, and I need to do this, type id 2519. So you do this. If you don't have any SSH keys, you need to generate it. You can always ask AI how to do this. It's not that hard. So you copy this public key, Control C, right? And here, Control V, and paste it here. Yeah, but I have already added my public key here, so there is no need to do it. And next, we need to work with security groups. We can create just one security group. Yes, and this is exactly what went wrong in our previous lesson with Nastya. So I told her to edit inbound rules, but she refused. She simply refused to click inbound rules. She did it very stubbornly. She clicked outbound rules for some reason, and I didn't see that. So in here, so this one I have created two rules here. Rule number one is to SSH into my virtual machine and to manage it from my Windows. Let me check that the video is being recorded. Yes, looks like everything is okay. And then lesson in rule 2, we specify the port. Unlike in my router, or in Oracle VirtualBox, where I need to open 2 ports or forward 2 ports, yeah, 1022 for example, yeah, 2000, and this one 65,535. Why? Because this is the last possible port. Here, so one more time, please watch previous videos, because I cannot explain all these things over and over again. And here we have just one port because each instance or virtual machine has its own public IP address. And since I haven't made any changes here, so one more time, rule number 1 allows me to manage my virtual machine remotely. And here I can use my website, and not just me, everybody who will enter the public IP address and the number of the ports. In the future, our website will become more and more professional, better and better. So cancel, and now let's launch an instance. I think this lesson will be quite long. I think it will last more than 1 hour for sure. But in this lesson, there will be a lot. I will do lots of things. Okay, now let's go to instances and launch instances. Let's launch on. If you want to launch an instance, I recommend that you stop if you don't use it. Yeah, in order for AWS not to charge money to your card, you either stop it or terminate. If you terminate, yeah, everything that you did there will be lost forever. But if you stop it, everything that you did there will be there, will stay there, but the public IP address will be different. And if you stop it, they will charge you less, because they will charge you just for storage, because your website, 8 gigabytes and gigabytes, right? You occupy space, yeah, um, in their cloud, and therefore they charge you, but it's a lot less than if you had a running virtual machine there, instance in there. Okay, let's click Ubuntu. First, let's give any name, for example, Alex. Alex Ubuntu is my name. Alex, yeah, Ubuntu. And here we can choose T3 Micro. And here I need to select the Windows key pair, yeah, the public key that I imported here. For those who don't know what SSH keys, what a key pair is, please watch the first or the second video. And now I don't have to create a new security group because I already have one. and I just click select existing security group. And here I can enlarge the number from 8 to 16. Yes, and we will not make any changes with RAM. Of course, 1 GB or gigabyte of RAM isn't enough at all. Yeah, and this is why we'll be working with this command today. We will have to run this command in order to, so it will create 1 GB emergency backup memory file on your hard drive to prevent your server from crashing when it runs out of physical RAM. Because 1 GB or of 1 GB or RAM is not enough. Yeah, because 1 GB of RAM, yeah, isn't enough at all. But everything that we do takes money, yes, and for each upgrade here, you will have to pay more, and we'll be trying to pay as little as possible, because we are doing this for educational purposes. Yeah, of course, if your website generates a lot of profit, yeah, you can totally host your virtual machine, your website on AWS. But usually there are simpler, faster, and easier ways, cheaper ways to do this. For example, I host my website on my Mac Mini device, and mm, I use Cloudflare, and I don't I don't have to pay anything at all. But my Mac Mini always has to always run, has to always work. And now let's continue. Let's launch this virtual machine. Instances. And now what do I do next? I copy the public IP address, Control C. Let me close this. Command Windows R, Command Prompt, and here SSH. Now I will SSH into my virtual machine, Ubuntu, because by default the username is Ubuntu at, and now it should work. I wonder why it's not working. It should work. Maybe there is something wrong. Maybe I didn't import, but I chose the key, the Windows key, right? So what could possibly go wrong? Okay, we can always terminate this instance and create a new one in case something wrong, because it's a new instance. Terminate. Instances. And let's create a new one. Terminate. Terminate, delete. Okay, launch instances. Now we can launch a new one. One more time. Let it be just Alex this time. Alex. And here, Ubuntu. Key pair Windows. And looks like maybe I didn't choose the security group. Or no, it's not because of that. So launch instance. And now you will see that the public IP address will be different. So Control C, and let's do it one more time. Let's open maybe a new command prompt. SSH, Ubuntu, Control V. Yes, now it's working. I did something wrong. I just showed it to you how easy it is to create a virtual machine. A few clicks, actually. And now what do I do? Sudo apt update. The more often we run this command, the better. Now what? We need to install pip, right? Sudo apt install python 3 pip. And also, for those who don't know how to type without looking at the keyboard, these skills are vital. It's so helpful when you type very fast. And in my teaching career, I can tell you that I have taught so many IT specialists who didn't know how to type without looking at the keyboard. And they typed very, very slowly. Yeah, and I just don't know how a person work in IT without having these skills. Okay. Let's wait a bit. Pip is a package installer for Python. Just like apt is a package installer for Ubuntu. Now we need to install everything to create virtual environments. We need to work from inside our virtual environments. Python 3 venv install. I forgot install. Install Python 3 venv. Now we need to do what? We need to create a folder here. Let's call this folder mkdir first real Django. Yeah, because it will be our first functional website. Now we need to cd into this folder. And here we need to create our virtual environment. To do this, we type Python 3 -m venv, and now we can give any name to our virtual environment. It can be like any name, but we can do it just like venv, yeah? Why do we need dot? If we put dot in front of it, it means that this folder will be invisible. If I type ls, nothing, yeah? But if I type la, you will see this folder. And now I need to activate this virtual environment. If right now I type pip freeze, yeah, you will see all these packages here, like dependencies, yeah, and they are pre-installed. I can install more, yeah. And if we don't work from our virtual environments, they will always be like bundled together, intertwined, and they will cause crashes. So now let's activate. How do we activate? We type source. Okay, LA. So source, and now we go inside our folder venv, And then inside this folder, there is one more folder, bin, and then there is a file. Enter, and see, now it's active in brackets. Now if I type pip freeze, you will see nothing. Now let's create our first Django project. Yeah, pip Django, install Django. Django, yeah, just like apt is an install package, package installer for Ubuntu. Yeah, install something, for example, Python 3, yeah, like pip, right? So here, pip install Django, it installed, because right now we are working with pip. Pip install, let's maybe, okay, let it be commands, because our website will be to store the commands in our database, yeah, that we have already learned. It will be a very helpful website, because in my previous lessons, I have always told, yeah, I have repeatedly told the viewers that never learn commands by heart. Oh, sorry, what am I doing? No, it's always, you see, it's always hard to do this when you record yourself, when you talk to yourself. It's really because I know that I'm being recorded. I'm afraid to make a mistake. I'm afraid I always have this fear to say something wrong. And of course, it's like additional psychological pressure. Pip install Django. First, of course, we need to install Django. And now we need to create our first Django project. And now if I type pip freeze, we will see, instead of all of this, right, we see just these. Now Django admin start project and Alex for comments, like I said. And see what's happening here. If I type LA, I will have to go inside this folder, commands, all the time, and then ls, and then one more time, and my manage.py will be inside a different folder. Yeah, and I don't like it. I prefer to have manage.py, because we always work with manage.py in the same folder as my virtual environment here. Therefore, let's go back and let's remove this folder commands that I created. And let's do it this way. Django admin start project commands. And if I do it like this, space dot, then I will install the insides of this folder here, right? And now LA, and now you see that I don't have to enter one more folder all the time. It was installed here. Yeah, and now my manage.py is in the same folder as my virtual environment. And now let's see what we have here. Let's launch our server, Python. And now when we are inside our virtual environment, we don't have to type Python 3 anymore. So it's Python run server. And let's run it on port 9000. Yeah, because in my settings here, security groups. Where are they? Security groups. I opened port number 9000. My customers, students, people will be able to listen to my website, to use my website on this port. So they will always have to, not always, but at first, yeah, because it's just the development stage, and I will have to type my public IP address and the number of the port that I forwarded here. And now it should work. It's running, and now what do I do? I go to my instances one more time. I copy the public IP address, Control C and V, and now it should work. See? Now it's working. But disallowed host, it means that I need to go inside settings.py and add, let's open it with nano settings py and add it here, allowed hosts. Control O to save, enter, and Control X, exit. And now if I refresh, it will not work, yeah, because the website is not running. So Python manage.py run server 9000. Why? Because I need to go back to the folder where my manage.py is. Manage.py run server 9000. Now it should work. See, it's working. And one more time, just like I explained in the 2 previous lessons, yeah, we as DevOps engineers, we don't have to work with code. But today we'll be doing this because it's interesting, because we need to practice with something. We need to show, because DevOps engineers work with what programmers and code do for them, right? And since we don't have any programmers, so we will create this website ourselves, which I think will also be a very good practice. And now you see, the problem is that it's very, very inconvenient to manage our virtual machine from command prompt or PowerShell. It's very, very difficult. We always need to run these to type ls, la, and therefore there is a better, easier way how to do this. But for that, so let's Control C. But for that, let's deactivate for now the virtual environment. Let's install this. Let's run this command. Because without this command, 1 GB of RAM isn't enough. My Visual Studio Code will be choking, and right now we will SSH into our machine with Visual Studio Code, and we will have some kind of graphic user interface. Yeah, not exactly graphic user interface, but still it's a lot more convenient to work with Visual Studio Code. But without this, yeah, because 1 GB of RAM isn't enough, and it will always be choking, interrupting, and it's very bad. So copy, and now let's install it here. I hope it worked. Yes, and now let's try and SSH from. So click on this and now connect to host. I think can connect to host and now add new SSH host, and we do it SSH Ubuntu. And now let me go back to my virtual machine and copy and paste it here. Mm, 1 minute. Okay, connect to host, this one. And now we are connecting Linux. Now everything should work. Yes, we are connected. We SSH'd. You selected Linux as the remote platform. Open folder, and here you see first real Django. This is what we created. We go inside this folder, and now we'll be working with this folder. I hope that I got everything right with this command, yeah, because if something is wrong, 1 GB of RAM isn't enough at all. I hope it will not be choking all the time. Yeah, now let's run this. First, let's activate our virtual environment. LA, right? And source. When being activated. Yeah, it has been activated. And now we can try it one more time. Python manage.py run server. And if I weren't using Visual Studio Code right now, I would not be able to do it on my local host. Yeah, but here I can test this website that I have on AWS as if it was on my computer, and it's very convenient. You see it's running, and now I can go here and test it as if it was on my machine. See? But I need to add localhost to my, and now instead of typing everything, right, like cd space dot dot cd, the name of the folder, nano, now it's a lot better. Now it's a lot more convenient to see. Now all I have to do is to add localhost 127. Please watch the previous lessons. And now Control S, right? Instead of Control O, enter, Control X with nano. Yeah. Now it's a lot better. And now let's refresh. And now it's working. And now let's get to the most difficult part, which is not done by DevOps engineers one more time. But we'll do this because I have been working with Django for many years actually, and I have been working on my professional website for more than a year and a half, for almost 2 years now. And therefore, yeah, it's safe to say that I'm some kind of expert in this. Not exactly an expert, but since I have been working with this, And I haven't blindly used AI, believe me. No, I can't just, if AI does something for me and I don't fully understand, I feel guilty, and I'm not the kind of person. So if I don't understand something that AI did for me, it's bad. It's bad. Okay, and now what do we do? We can Control C, yeah. And now let's work on Django. And this is the hardest part because it's always hard to remember all these steps. But now we need to create an app. Remember that now we need to create an app. On my website, Gorals XYZ, here, I have 3 apps: a website, vocabulary, and messenger. It's very convenient. Django is good for huge websites. For example, Instagram was built with Django, and Spotify was built with Django. It's very good for huge websites because this scalability is great. And like I said, I think Django is becoming more and more popular. Right now is the second most important, most popular backend framework, but who knows, maybe in a couple of years it will overtake Node.js or Express.js. Okay, now let's create our first app. It's Python. It's manage.py. I hope it's here. Yes, manage.py. And now start app. And let's call it website because it'll be our main. Or main, maybe main. Okay, let it be website. Yes, and as you can see, website has been created. See how much more comfortable it is to work with Visual Studio Code. Yeah, and if it's not choking, it means that those commands that I typed here, they worked. Okay, I created like swap space. Okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? Now let's start working inside this app. Let's start with creating a folder called templates. It's a reserved name for this folder, templates, and this is where our HTML files will be. Let's create a new file and let's call it home HTML. Yes, and here at first let's just create one element. Yeah, this is my home page. Control S. Yes, and I think let's create one more HTML file, one more page. So far, for now, our website will have just 2 pages. And let's call it Postgres commands, because this is where we'll be retrieving, fetching our Postgres commands from our database. And let it be just one element for now. Postgres commands. Yeah. And by the way, here I can use GitHub Copilot, and GitHub Copilot will work. Of course, the most powerful model is for now Claude Sonnet 4.6. 2 months ago, I still had access to the most capable or one of the most capable AI models, Claude Opus. But now, to have access to this model, I have to pay $40 instead of $10 that I'm paying now monthly. And you can work with all files here. Yeah, it's called vibe coding. And of course, yeah, I would not be able, or I would not have been able to build this website without AI, because AI is super powerful, and it's amazing that there are so many people in the world who still don't know how powerful AI is, and that we can actually do a lot of things. And to be honest, I still don't understand. I don't understand yet why IT companies have so many IT specialists, like programmers, designers, web designers, because yeah, because and instead of going down, right, their salaries are increasing actually, and it's amazing. And I wonder how long it will last, because I will show you how I can do everything myself. So, and right now you are looking at how one man is doing everything, yeah, himself. And in our future lessons, I will, when our website gets better and better, I will tell you how I use AI. It's very convenient. And I don't, if I owned an IT company, I would definitely not pay $5,000 to like 10 or 15 idlers, because believe me, in my teaching career, I have worked with so many programmers who understood so little, and it made me wonder how come they are programmers, they earn huge salaries, yeah, a lot more than I did, yeah, and they knew a lot less than I did. And still, I work with programmers still, and I can tell you that they don't know as much as I do, because in IT, because I like my job, because I like teaching people. And for those who want to improve their English, you are more than welcome. I have extra like free slots in my schedule. And okay, I'm talking too much maybe. Let's focus on something. Okay, let's focus on the main thing. And now Control S, and save. Control S, Control S. And let's close it for now. I don't like it when there are a lot of Windows tabs opened. What do we do next? Now we need to connect. So we have here, we have commands project. It's like our main folder with settings.py. And we need to, here we need to type include, and see, it knows everything for me. Yeah, it's not interesting, yeah, because I wanted to show you, but here, AI is linked here, and okay, let it be so. Yes, and what is it? So here, this is our my first homepage. Yeah, actually, if it should be empty. And include is like this, and then website URLs py is this website URLs py that I haven't created yet. And now I need to create URLs py, but it's not here yet. So let me create URLs py. And inside this folder, I need to create, so every HTML page will be added here. And of course, I always forget, because like I said, it's impossible to remember all this. So we can URLs is project. This is what I have, yeah. And here, this is what I need to do here in my. So let's copy, because it will take me a lot of time, yeah, really lots of time to remember this. paste, and import from this folder from website. Yeah, it means, yeah, this is and views home, and the name of my HTML. It's used for links, yeah, because for example, we have 5 pages and we need to link them with each other, yeah, so we can click on that page and get redirected to that page. And for now let's create one more path. Yes, and see, it knows what to do. So tab, Postgres commands. Yeah, this is what it will be my like URL. I will type this command in the address box. And this is the name for links, like I said, name. Control S. And now what do I do? Now we need to create views. It's already here. I don't have to create it. And def, now home. Yeah, request. Yes, it's done everything for me. See how easy it is now to work with AI, but it's inbuilt AI. Let's save everything. This is my HTML file. And in our future lessons, we'll learn how to work with Python functions, lists, loops, and so on, because it's very important. Of course, one more time, as DevOps engineers, we don't have to understand this. No, actually, we can. We must. We must, because although DevOps engineers don't work with code, they still write scripts, and we need to know how to work with functions, loops, and that sort of things. And what do we do now? So we connected our app to our main project in here, and now we created urls.py, and this is exactly what we created, yeah, urls.py. And now we have created 2 HTML pages, and here they are. And let's go to views.py one more time, and they are here. We don't have to type templates because templates is a reserved name for this folder. And of course, no, I may have made something, I may have done something wrong. Yeah, because like I said, it's always hard to remember all these steps. And it's very important now to do what? It's very important to go to settings.py. Yes, and of course, I decided to do this myself because with Nastya, it would take us 3 or maybe 4 lessons. Installed apps. And now I need to edit a website, right? Website, yeah, here. Installed apps. And it looks like we have done everything we need in order for this website to start working. So we added our app here, website. Now the system knows that and then we created urls.py here inside this app website. Yeah, import views, because we imported views py from this from website. Home. And now let's hope that everything will work. Let's hope that everything will work. Like I said, Visual Studio Code allows me to test it locally without opening, like typing 0.0 yeah, and opening it somewhere else. I can do this on my local machine. See, this is my home page. We have just created our first like real functional website, Django website. But now we need to also add CSS, right? And therefore, to save our time, yes, we can. So this is what we need to do. Let me copy this, or just this. Control C, and let's insert it here. What's wrong? I wonder what's wrong. Why is this? Why do I have it here? You know, actually we can do this. Ah, sorry. I forgot to close it. But still, why is it red? I cannot understand why it's red. Okay. So a ref I think like this, and then we have %sign here, then URL, and then the home name. I cannot. Why is this? Why? Okay. And here home. Yes. And now a ref. And here once again URL post res commands. It's our name, like I said, it's for links. %sign. Yes, and now here Postgres command. But I cannot understand why it is red here. Ah, I see why. Yes, probably because I need double quotes here. Okay, let's copy this. Control C. And now here. So if it was in Django, yeah, here we wouldn't type. Yeah, we would type quotes and the folder in which our HTML file is. And instead of the name, we would type home HTML, for example, yeah? But it's Django. We cannot afford to give so many lessons, yeah, because we don't have much time, because I promised Nastya that we would finish by November, December, January, in this time frame. And now let's see what we have here. Yes, Postgres. Now we have two pages and we can switch between these two pages, right? And now we can also create a CSS. For those who don't know what CSS is, so we have HTML elements and we have CSS is like style. We can give them any color, we can position them, these elements everywhere we want in our screen, on our screen. And for that, we need to create one more folder called static. It's like for our images, CSS, yeah, because actually, although we have HTML files here, actually they are not exactly static because it's Django and they are dynamic. They're not static. And now let's create here one more folder because this is our convention. We need to inside static folder, the static folder, we need to create one more folder called CSS. They are just the rules. And now inside this folder, let's create new file, styles CSS. I have been working with this for the last 12 years, one more time, but I have never worked in IT actually, although I understand a lot more than a lot of IT specialists. So much more that one more time, I wonder how do they work there at all and who keeps them there? How come they have not been fired and what are they paid so much money for? What are they paid $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for? Yes, I understand why, because IT companies want to hire real specialists, but you see, real specialists are hard to come by. And here, H1 element, yeah, and here, color, and let it be blue. And our text H1 here will be blue. Postgres, yeah, it will be blue. We can try. We can, for now, we can copy just this. It should be here. For now, we don't need all of this. Let's put it here, somewhere here, above actually. Yes, and here. If it wasn't Django, we wouldn't type these percent signs. Static, of course, we would simply type rel style sheet, and then grep and the folder in which our style CSS is. It's styles, right? Because I named, it's not style, it's styles. And also, it's important to do this, load static. Yes, because without this load static, it will not work. Load static. And let's do the same here. Load static. And now I hope everything will work. No, it doesn't. So home first. CSS. Okay, let's copy everything. I wanted to show you without this, but let's copy everything. and insert it here. Let's delete, copy styles, it says, and here, like body, where is body? Yes, and here we have to close it, and then HTML, yes, one more time. So we have, do we have the first HTML? Yes, first HTML, head is closed, title, my website, body, and now AI knows everything what to do. Yes, and welcome to my website, and let's copy everything, Control C, and Postgres, let's delete it, and here my Postgres commands, my Postgres commands, Control S, Control S, Control S, and let's try it now. But why it is not, why is it not blue? It should be blue because I added load static, styles, CSS, and H1, color blue. It should work. Why? Let's find the mistake. So one more time, load static, static CSS, style CSS. This one is correct. This one is correct. And now I think we can ask AI. Yeah. So for the and also it's a very good practice. Tell me this model is too expensive, so let's not waste. We can use ChatGPT. Tell me what is wrong. Why does CSS not work? And let's see. It's thinking, see? Reasoning. I'm checking the template, and right now GitHub Copilot is looking through all my folders. I found a concrete mismatch in the static file URL generation. I'm doing one quirk, check against the route setup to confirm whether the bad URL only shows up on nested pages like this one. And you see it's working. So that works on the home page but it breaks on Postgres commands because that page lives Postgres. The browser resolved the style sheet as so I hope that it fixed that. AI fixed everything. And now let's see. Still doesn't work. Maybe let's do it one more time. Python manage.py run server. I don't know, yesterday it worked. In browser maybe. There is maybe some mistake, maybe something in cache. I think it has to do with cache. Yes, I clicked Control F5. Yeah, it was the main problem. So this is how people work, and as you can see, I just showed you how much time it took me. And I always tell Nastya, if you want to become a real IT specialist, You need to say goodbye to your friends, to your boyfriend, you name it, whatever, right? So, and you need to spend at least 5 hours a day. And this is why IT companies have no choice but to hire underqualified bad IT specialists and pay them a lot of money. But I think that with the advent of AI, yeah, IT companies will be cutting their salaries very gradually. Right now, I don't know, for some reason they are growing their salaries, but in the future, I think they will go down. But don't worry, although AI is replacing, and now you saw, right, how we can ask AI to go through the folders, to look through all the files, to find the mistake, to improve. And all you have to do here is to write commands, yeah, give instructions, and AI will do everything for you. And the most powerful model on GitHub Copilot is Claude Sonnet. But if I pay $40, I will have access to a way more powerful thing. And so today we have done a lot of things. We have launched our instance on AWS, and now let's do it. We can check. Control C, and now Python manage.py run server, and now from all over the world I can go to my website and all students, but I will terminate this machine. No, I will not terminate, I will stop it. And tomorrow on Monday, Nastya and I will be working with Git. So here, yeah, we'll be working with GitHub.com, Git. And here I need to copy the public IP. On AWS, each instance has its own public IP address. And here, 9,000. As you can see, everything is working. So we change the color with CSS. Yes, and one more time. Why are we creating this website? First, for practice, and secondly, it will be very, very helpful because, like I said, it's very hard to remember all these commands like what I did today, and we'll be storing everything in the database, and then it will be very good. There will be a lot of HTML pages here, like Postgres commands, Python commands, and so on. And this is how websites work. And now if I want my website to continue running in the background, I need to use like tmux or something, yeah, and I will break the link with this, yeah, I will close everything, I will switch off my Windows machine, but my website will continue running, but it's just a development server. For production server, we need like Unicorn, Nginx, what is Redis, right? Redis, yeah, it's just for development, of course. And in the future, Nastya will buy her own domain, and instead of like typing the public IP address and the name of the number of the port, she will type her domain, yeah, that she will buy, like for example, nastya.com, and everything will work. And now I just showed you how it's done, right? Okay, I think that's all for today then. See you tomorrow. Bye.